Greetings and welcome to the Power of the Overflow.
Welcome to Healing Together, our journey from illness to wellness.
We know firsthand how isolating illness can feel, but you are not alone. Whether you're struggling with your own health or supporting a loved one through their battle, we hope our story brings you comfort, hope, and practical insights.
So grab a cup of tea or whatever you drink. Get comfortable and join us as we share our journey. If you haven't done so yet, remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So our journey started about 3 years ago. It was March 8th, 2022. I remember the date. And you had gone in for what you believed was a bladder infection. Is that correct?
No, it was a UTI. Well, I think it's the same. I don't know.
Okay. Regardless,
Yeah.
you were taking medication.
Yes.
And it was a couple weeks later and you went back in to do some blood work. And I remember it was between 9:30 and 10 o'clock in the evening on a Thursday night. And we got a phone call. And they said that you needed to come into the emergency. And the thing I remember most was they had done some tests and there was no confirmation of anything. They weren't sure about things. And we basically spent the night in that emergency room space in that tiny little bed. And I remember we were just laying there trying to rest, trying to sleep. And it was one of the worst nights of my life because of the uncertainty. Here we were, two vibrant, healthy, athletic people, a young married couple, and it was just a shock, right? It was a shock because we didn't know what it was. We didn't know what could be wrong.
Yeah, I was scared. That's all I can say. I was scared. And then that's when we were in the emergency room for a while. And then finally they said, we want to admit you to the hospital.
Yes. So they admitted you to the hospital. I remember spending the night in the emergency room, and then Friday morning I got up early. I didn't have work that day, but I just came back to check on the kids, and your mom was here. And then I went back. I brought you some things. I went back to the hospital because they had admitted you, and you stayed in the hospital for 2 nights.
The interesting thing, though, now that I look back, was they didn't put me in like the general space where you go to stay in the hospital. They put me on the labor and delivery ward, which was interesting to me. Now that I look back, like, right, we'll be going back and forth, like, okay, back then, and then what's the perspective now? And now that I look back, God was telling me that I would be birthing something new. And I was like, oh, that's why I was in the maternity ward and not in just the general part. So I do remember that piece. Another thing, when Chris left, I boo-hooed, cried. I cried, and I prayed. And I prayed, and I prayed. And I was listening to gospel music because I knew just from our teaching and background of being in church that I can't do woe is me, because woe is me wasn't going to get there. I had to, one, get rid of it, cry it out, and then I had to pray and be like, Lord, guide us, give me strength, show me what to do. But my biggest prayer was like, is this it? Because we had young kids, and I was like, this is it? This how I'm going out? Was really where my head was in the beginning. And then I started praying and playing my gospel music. I'm pretty sure the people are like, what is this lady doing in there? What is going on? But at that point, I ain't care. Right now, I don't even care. I will pray wherever I need to.
And it was scary because, as we said, there was a big concern and a major issue with your kidneys.
Yeah, there was.
Do you want to share what your kidney function was at that time?
I can't tell you.
I do. I remember.
I know. There's, again, parts you remember, parts I don't remember.
Your kidney function was at 20.
Yeah.
That's what it was tested at. And so we were in the hospital for 2 days, 2 nights. More testing came. They really weren't sure. They weren't sure what was causing it, but something was affecting your kidneys. They did say it could possibly be an autoimmune disorder, but they wouldn't be certain or sure unless they did a biopsy. And so I remember at that time them coming to us in the hospital, and it would have been Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday was when you were released. And they came to us and they just said, we don't have any answers, but we're going to release you. At that moment, we kind of declined anything further.
The reason why we declined further medical testing was just because of my understanding about the body. And also, too, there was, at the time, I was listening to this functioning medicine doctor on Faith Radio, and he always talked about there's always a root cause to any type of disease or medical issues. And so we decided to do was to reach out to them. Was that at that time? Yeah. See, again, time frames. To just be like, hey, this is what's going on. And from there, I started going down there. We had our first like an introduction meeting just to find out, okay, what's going on, what's happening. And in the process of that, I also was waiting to have a biopsy to figure out what was going on with my kidneys.
So we were waiting to decide what to do, really. We could have done the biopsy right away in March, but we waited until June. And Corey said when she was in the hospital that first night, she was boo-hooing and praying. And, well, she had some blood work done towards the end of May, which we're both educators, so it was right towards the end of our school year. And I do remember this too. We got the blood work results back, and it showed that Corey's kidney function, it hadn't gone down any, but it hadn't improved at all either. It was 20 3 months later. And so I remember us in the car driving to Whole Foods, and now this was my turn to boo-hoo because I was like, okay, we did all these things and nothing changed. So that was when we made the decision to go. We also went to go visit someone new because the kidney specialists that we were seeing at the time, they really weren't leading us anywhere.
Well, we need to. I think I scared them, let's just be honest, because I came in telling them what they were going to do. And I think a lot of times when you go to the doctor, they're used to telling you what they're going to do. But I came in just because of the knowledge that we had about healthy living and was like, I will not do this, this, and this. And I think I scared them. That's what Chris tells me. But I came in determined, knowing that whatever it was that we're going to deal with, I was going to be healed. So I came in with a focused mind and was telling people stuff.
So everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And Corey was like that. She's always been that way. She's somebody who takes full control of her health and believes she knows what's best for her body. And during that time, though, we just felt like we weren't getting led anywhere. And we needed something because her kidney function was not improving. So
I think that was an intervention too, because one of the things that happened, and I don't know if it's just because of how I approached, they never called us back. We were like supposed to go back for an appointment, and they're like, well, we'll be in touch, and they never did. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go do my own research and find somebody that could help support us.
Yes. And we also took that as a sign from God, like, okay,
yeah,
we don't need to deal with these people anymore. And that led us to a nephrologist who really helped, Dr. William Murphy.
Yes.
And we met with Dr. William Murphy about mid-June. I remember Adrian had a baseball game that night, and he came in and saw your blood work, and he said, we need to do this biopsy.
We need to find out what's going on. Because until we find out exactly what's going on, we can't begin the healing and recovery process.
Yeah. And he was very open too, because I did tell him, like, you're part of my team. See, that's the other thing. I went in telling people, you part of my team. Like, I can fire and hire you. Like, right? So I did let him know that I was seeing a functioning medicine doctor. And he had some hesitations because, right, he is, right, Western medicine, and, they're about certain things and giving meds. And I was just like, okay, I need a team because I know where our mindset was. I know what I believed in. But we also had to get to the root cause of what was going on with my kidneys.
And I'm grateful for Dr. Murphy because he accepted all that. He said, okay. He said, I'm a part of the team. This is our team to get, Team Corey healthy. But at the same time, he was also very direct and blunt with us. And he said, Corey's her kidneys are in a serious state here. We need to figure this out. And so
he told me I wasn't healthy, and I didn't like that.
Yes, he did.
I do remember those words. And I was like, what do you mean?
So from there, we scheduled the biopsy. And again, I'm pretty sharp.
You are pretty sharp.
I'm pretty sharp.
Yes, you are.
My memory's good. And my dates are. We went in on a Friday. We met with him at the U of M. And I remember that again because Adrian had a baseball tournament that weekend, and we went to his game afterwards. But the biopsy was scheduled for the following Tuesday. He said, we're going to get in and we're going to get started. And so the following Tuesday, again at the University of Minnesota, we went in, and I remember it was a long day. There was a lot of prep work.
Mm-hmm.
Then you actually had to go in and do the biopsy. And they went in, they did a biopsy of one of your kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we were there all day. It was exhausting for you. It was a little painful for you.
Yeah, it was.
But where that got us to was they said there's definitely some damage to your kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we believe there is some permanent damage, which we didn't accept at that time.
No.
But we got an answer. We finally got an answer. That answer was that Corey had an autoimmune disease, and it was attacking her kidneys.
Yes. And so that was the time to be like, okay, we know exactly what it is. And you might be like, are you guys going to say it? And I'm just a firm believer of, in this part of the word, like, right, we're putting it out in the atmosphere, and I'm not going to put it out in the atmosphere.
You're not putting out what specific autoimmune disease it was. That's what you're saying.
Yes. But I have to tell about it, if that makes sense. But anyway, so yeah, and Chris doesn't know this piece because I feel like you were teaching at the time. And so I had to go in after the biopsy to the doctor. And I can't remember if that's when it was. Anyway, I kind of knew what it was. I never told him this because I looked up being an educator, and I was like, okay, I see this. What is all this? Why are these numbers, off the chart? And I looked it up, and it said, if your numbers for these certain markers are this way, this is the autoimmune you have. So I kind of knew that that's what it was, but it was confirmed after we went to the doctor. Like, this is an autoimmune disease. And that's where the journey began.
Yes.
The second part, I'd say part 2.
So what we'll do is we're going to finish up today's podcast and just kind of leave it there at the point where we found out that it was indeed an autoimmune disorder that had been affecting her kidneys. And as we look back, in looking back on Corey's symptoms that she had, there were definitely some indicators of what was going on. The one for me was the puffy eyelids. And I look back at pictures too, they were always there. And I can't remember when they first started, but that was one of the indicators. And so as we finish up our podcast today,
I want to add something else.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I know we keep saying finishing up. We're not.
we know Corey likes to keep talking.
Ooh,
so that's-
hush. No, but there's some other things. He said the puffy eyes. One of the things was I lost a lot of weight. Like I was working out, but I lost a lot of weight in body fat, like muscle mass. And then the other thing too, and Chris doesn't know this because he would be at work. I struggled to get up in the morning. It would take all the strength within me to get up and get ready for work. And then once I got going, I was good, but just getting up, I was just like drained. So that's another symptom that now that I look back was like, oh, that was my body saying, Corey, hey, something's not right.
So we went back and now recognize some of these signs. But I just remember at the point where we had done the biopsy and it was confirmed that this was an autoimmune disorder, we were like, okay, what's in the past is in the past, let's move forward. And so the next time we meet for our next episode, we're going to get into, okay, what's next? How do we go about treating this? And there are lots of things. Meds and diet, I guess, are at the forefront of that.
There's that. There's also your mind.
Yep, mindset.
Mindset. Where's your mind at? Faith. All those things. So, right, we're talking about illness to wellness. And we invite you to connect with us. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Also, we are on Instagram. It's Power of the Overflow MN. And also our website. You'll find all those links in down below. So make sure you connect with us so you can hear the second part.
Yes. The start of the healing process.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Everybody take care.